game 1 of this best of 3. Again, welcome if you're just tuning in. You're joining the WCS NA qualifiers held on the Asian server, because the America qualifiers this time around, or WCS America this time around, it also includes Taiwan and Australia and New Zealand, the SEA region. So this is the bless me. This is the qualifier held on the Taiwanese server, in hopes to obviously aid the players that aren't in America from qualifying, give them a bit of a chance with the lesser ping, etc. Although we actually saw a couple of Taiwanese players qualifying on the American server the other day through day 1 anyways. Top left hand side, sorry, a couple of sneezes from me. Just getting my eyes back together after that. To the top left hand side, our red cross player here is Roby Boy. Going to be going up against a North American Zerg in the form of McMonroe. Rocking that Lambo image right there. McMonroe, part of Infinity Gaming, is a 21-year-old Zerg player from the US of A. And yeah, I mean, honestly, is one of the is a strong player, and just hasn't had the. He's one of these players that I definitely recognize the name of, but he's definitely not a player you see regularly in WCS events and so on. For example, he made it to Group Stage 2 in WCS Austin this year. He made it to into a better round of Group Stage 2 at WCS Austin the year before. That's really kind of the extent of his results in terms of WCS events and so on. Outside of that, he's won a couple of LAN events. You know, there's some of the LANs out where he lives that he's won and stuff like that. So, yeah, just definitely want to, that you kind of probably have maybe heard the name of here and there, but we haven't seen too much of, and I couldn't tell you much about his play style or anything along those lines. So yeah, I couldn't really help you out in terms of that. I'm excited to see some of these games. I mean, I don't get to cast American StarCraft as much as, say, like Fear Dragon or somebody who casts like all of the American StarCraft events. I'm a lot more kind of, I mean, I cast a lot of European games, I cast a lot of Korean games, and we do cast a lot of the top American players a lot, because they kind of have a lot of, you know, they play a lot in some of these other events and so on. But I don't get to cast a lot of these guys who are up in the higher levels and higher reaches of GM, but don't actually have the chance to, you know, play in a lot of the tournaments high up very often. So kind of cool to see McMonroe here. I do have a couple of shout-outs to do just before we continue, guys. I feel bad because I put these off a little while. But Aurora comes in for 12 months, the big 1 year resub, says, "A full year, man. Last few weeks here have been amazing. Keep up the good work and hope we can enjoy quite a few more years of SC2 together." Thank you so much for the 1 year resub, Aurora. Glad you've been enjoying the content. We have been going crazy last week. I didn't realize I've not had a day off this month. I literally just looked at this and realized, like, oh my god, I've actually streamed every day in January. And it looks like, you know what, we might actually end up streaming every day in January, because I do not have a day off planned for the next week and a bit as well. So how about that, eh? How about that, as we kick this off with the Phoenix coming in, gonna start nibbling away at that Overlord and start to deal some damage. Yeah, that's actually really crazy. We're going to stream like every day this month, more or less. I love it. Passion is real right now. We also had another sub coming in, the 14 months from Katsu Misuno. No message attached, but thank you so much for the 14-month resub. Really appreciate it, dude. Got some hype in the chat for Katsu Misuno. Thank you very much. Cold Gateway is dropping down here from Probes. We're getting that set to go. Stargate, Chrono boosting out the Oracle. The Oracle going to start moving down the bottom right side. So, another game, PvZ. I mean, who would have been shocked by an Oracle? Nobody at all. It's very expected. It's exactly what you sort of, you know, assume is going to happen a lot of the time as well. So, away we go as the Oracle comes down to the bottom right-hand side. So again, Oracle just moving around a little bit here. Going to see the Phoenix coming off to the left. We see the Roach and the Roche on the on the way up as well from McMonroe. And we do see the Nexus coming up on the third base as well. So again, that third base Nexus coming through. And we are going to be seeing the Oracle just hanging out over on the left side here. If there was a couple of Zerglings running back and forth. So they're just hanging out as well. Again, more Zerglings coming up from McMonroe. Going to be arriving in the top side in a moment or two. And they're going to be jumping on a probe. Trying to get their way through that adept there. As you see, there's a couple of adepts on the right side. Be able to do a little bit of cleanup as well. The 2 oracles and the phoenix going to come across to the top. As you see, the extractor drops down on the 3rd base, and just going to be seen again. Creep pushing out, and well, again, the probes oracle's not really doing all too much right away. 3 kills on 1, but that's about it. As you see, straight into Hydras alongside the Roach speed. So a Roach Hydra opening from our Zerg player here, and Probe just going into double robo, so he can start cranking out those immortals. With the Forge in the Twilight in the main base as well, means that he's getting his tech choices continuing with the with the charge upgrade most likely, and with the +1 attack. So getting this going. Again, the oracle's just going to come around the right-hand side. We do see a couple of lings just chilling out to the left, so McMonroe just running around a little bit. And we do see the Groove of Spines currently on the way up on that Hydra's Den as well. Now here goes the Oracle. Going to be heading across towards the upper left-hand side, and again, these Zerglings coming in. They're going to go for a couple of kills here, so going to be able to grab a couple of probes right away. So a couple of probes drop down really, really quickly. And as you see, the couple of lings running back and forth, +1 missiles and Groove Spines coming in on the Hydralisks. And we are going to see again those couple of hallucinations that are going to end up being pushed away over to the left-hand side. So hallucinations of probe, just picking up some early info again, nothing too crazy. That's exactly what the hallucinations are meant to do here, right? So getting this set to go. And the 2 lings going to be pulling down the right side. Yeah, guys, Future's internet went out. A couple of people mentioned in the chat. Future's internet went out, so he couldn't actually play in the qualifier today. He will have another chance. There's another NA qualifier tomorrow night, so he can also try again tomorrow evening. I'm actually maybe not going to be casting that one. I didn't decide yet. I might cast it, I might not cast it. It sort of depends on how things go. Because I'm going to be casting the European qualifier tomorrow once again. So yeah, not 100% sure what we're going to do with that one just yet. Just waiting to figure it out. As you see, all these stasis wards down on the low ground, shield batteries and cannons coming up. I mean, Probe getting very defensive over on his 3rd base. He's doing a pretty good job of this as Immortals and Depths and High Templar gathering together. A couple sentries nibbling through the Overlord, and we do see Storm on the way up, +2 attack being Chrono Boost out in the Forge, but that's a Contaminate just as the Chrono Boost came down as well. Like, what a waste of Chrono. It's a little bit of a shame. Nice play by McMonroe, slowing down what he can when he can, as he will end up losing out to this Phoenix, which picks up the kill. So Phoenix getting the kill there as Hydras, well, they're going to continue up the left-hand side. On the far right, a few Oracles are ready to dive in towards the main base, perhaps. I mean, there's definitely some opportunities for them to deal some damage there as the Hydras all the way out into the middle. And we do see those Drop Lords now in play as well, so Probe going to have to start splitting his army to deal with this. Triple Oracles just dropping the Revelation and again moving away, but they have not seen this army up the left side. And this is a bit of a mistake by Probe, because usually you're meant to use those Oracles to keep track of the army. While it's nice to keep track of, are you going into Hive or not, and etc. like that, it's also nice to know where your opponent's army might attack you from. As Probe is going to run underneath this as Drop a Lord, so he's going to be able to turn away. He doesn't have much anti-air in this army though. Now he drops a Revelation, a couple of Lurkers are spotted. And Probe knows exactly what he's up against. Feels like, well, again, those Drop Lords, they're going to unload. There just isn't much anti-air to actually shut that down anyways. We see a couple of High Templar in the main, the Stasis Ward set up here, so he does have something. Obviously with the extra Oracle, you do have extra energy for Stasis Wards a lot of the time. And so you can really rely on those a bit more for your defenses. Oh my god, Roaches and Hydras going to get caught up here on the left side. As you see the Roaches and Hydras pushing in on the right. Another Storm going down, Roaches being pushed away. Revelation will drop down, and again these Immortals able to get a fair amount done so far. Another pylon getting picked up. Another couple of force fields coming down on the bottom side. And we are going to be seeing again the couple of Lurkers getting picked up. On the left side, you can see Roaches and Hydras pressing forwards here. I mean, they were caught in stasis, so again, this entire attack of McMonroe was disjointed because that stasis ward caught so many units on the left. Going to be seeing that one Lurker again taken down. Revelation again. Catches the Lurker and a few Hydras, which are back down to the bottom. Again, these Lurkers are going to be running forwards, but that's a lot of cannons over here. And if the Zealots in front, you're completely fine here as Probe to be able to defend against this. So those Lings are going to end up backing away down the right side. And the rest of this army, all looking good at the moment. So, I mean, Probe in general looking fantastic. The Stasis Wards in the main help to slow down this drop. And that's fantastic as well, as we see, again, just continued defenses from Probe. His resources lost is 2.9k to 5.4k. So he's doing a very good job of this at the moment. Continue to trade very well. As the Great Aspire going to be finished up from McMonroe in a moment or two. As you see those Zealots continue to come forwards, and Crypt Tumors getting picked off here. Again, there's those Dropper Lords coming across. The units here from Probe still moving around. Might want to try and hit in towards this right side hatchery as well. Drops the Revelation on that base, and that hatchery will cancel up nice and quickly. So, cancel on the hatchery as we see the Drop Lords now through into the center of the map. Hydra's going to be unloading here, and Roaches and Hydra's going to be seeing what they can do. There's a couple of Stalkers coming in. Overlord picked off as we're going to be seeing Zerglings running by into the natural expansion. They're going to go and try and pick up a whole bunch of probes here. So I think it's going to go for a whole bunch of workers. The Zealots going after those Zerglings as well. I mean, the run by is nice because it obviously buys a bit of time, distracts as well as the Oracles get picked off. And he's managing to drop the Revelation just about in time here. Those will pick his way through these Changelings. And the Dropper Lords are back over to the left. There's not much for them to pick up and to drop in. They already have just a few Hydras inside, but it's obviously not going to be too scary. Oh my god, Broodlords though. Probe just wasn't prepared for Broodlords. Tell us all about Broodlords. I just wasn't expecting Broodlords either. Didn't even realize those Broodlords in play. First couple of storms coming down as he tries to fight it. He's just going to push forwards into the Broodlords. There's so many of them though. I don't know if Probe can actually hold this off. Like, these Broods are insane. I mean, he's getting Tempest up, so he had a fleet beacon down. I've been so preoccupied with everything else that's going on, and I'm the observer, never mind what Probe's been dealing with. One more storm, and again, the Broods keep on dropping, but Probe's losing quite a lot of army, and a lot of the Immortals stay alive at least. It's not going to take much to finish those Broods off, but it will still take a bit of something. No blink, etc. obviously hurts here, because you can't just blink underneath to finish off those very low health Broodlords now. So there's Tempest still on the way up from Probe. Corona boosting out. On the bottom left side, some Zealots, they're going to go in and they are going to be able to pick off the hatcher in the bottom left. So at least Probe is still denying some of the economy here. And surprisingly, I will say surprisingly, he is able to survive what was a very tough situation. Zerglings and McMonroe up the left side, going to be all the way up to the top. As we're going to be seeing Immortals. Well, they will get that cancel on that hatchery nice and quickly, so able to pick that off here. Lings still gathering together. Again, the Brood's moving over to the right side. As you see, the Tempest continue to pop out. He's going to see these Zerglings. There's an Adept in the wall off here. Obviously, Tempests are not going to help very much against Lings. It's like, we'll charge up our laser beams and boom! And one Zergling out of 50 goes down. It's like, oh, you know, maybe not quite as epic as we thought it was going to be. Imagine a Disruptor shot, a Tempest shot actually sawed through units and killed units as they went. So imagine if like a Disruptor shot came through here, like a Disruptor shot is a Tempest shot. Imagine a Tempest shot is my mouse and it goes and just kills all the Zerglings. Now that'd be great. You'd have to position the Corruptors correctly like Hellions to kind of line up the shots. And then it would actually make it really feel as though Disruptors, or if the Disruptor shot, the unit it hits, it explodes around. Because I mean, it looks like a pretty big attack. They should probably do more than just a shot. This is obviously outside of balance discussion, guys. I mean, this is just me having some memes here. As we see one of the High Templar picked off by a Queen. Could feedback that. And Transfuse came down in the end. Transfuses on some of the Broodlords as well as the Queens gather together. Vipers are gaining energy. And Probe pulling back. Fourth base has been set up for a while for him. Probe has a bit of money. Would love to just see Blink, just so you can, you know, if necessary, warp in a few extra Stalkers against Broodlords or so. It goes kind of a long way, I think. And I'm just going to be seeing the Corruptors still hanging around. We're going to be seeing an army still left to the bottom left from Probe as well. So, still going to be hanging out here. Tempest pressing in. We're going to be seeing a bunch of Group Tumors being cleaned out. So clean out a bunch of that as there go the Zealots and the Stalkers in towards this mineral line. Spine's in a lot of trouble. Probe, well, that's going to be held off. I mean, the Roaches and Hydras he obviously help out a bit as well. In a way, I feel like Probe has almost given up some of these units, though. I mean, there's a lot of Gateway units to probably be replaced. There's going to be seeing the Brood Lords getting caught there quite heavily. Nice first Storm as well on top of the Corruptors, scares those away. And then counter-attack meets the wall of Zealots. And the Zealots will be able to push those Zerglings back. My Templar continue warping in right now. And we are going to be seeing the couple of extra Voids just on the way up. I mean, the Voids helping out against those Corruptors, cleaning those up and quite nicely, especially after they've had a couple of Storms on them. Voids can drop Corruptors pretty quickly, so send up into those Void Rays here. Excuse me, I'm going to have to take a drink, guys. My throat's hurting a little bit. Excuse me. As you see Tempest pressing down the right side, we're going to be seeing that Hatchery in some trouble and will go down. Tempest again taking a little bit of damage here. And we are going to be seeing the Zealots charging in on those Roaches on the left-hand side, so able to pick his way through a few of those Roaches there. So Roaches taking some damage. There is the Tempest, Voids, Immortals, and High Templar all pushing forwards into the middle of the map. And there's going to see a couple of Storms dropping down. A couple of Storms dropping here. High Templars not able to drop any more Storms either, and we are going to be seeing those Corruptors and Vipers coming across to the center. Broods coming up the right side as well. An extra Void Ray still on the way out. On the far left, we see those Zealots already charging in, and they are going to be able to pick up some of those Roaches and a Hydra or so as well. Again, these Broods scouting this army away, although the Tempests probably have had chances to turn around and get a couple of shots off. Excuse me, sorry, my throat is a little bit just rough and a little bit raw at the back. I don't know what it is, just need a moment or two. Maybe I need to go make myself like a nice warm drink or something. Drink some like honey. That'd be good. But yeah, Infestors here pulling back in an 18-minute PvZ so far in Parasite. I mean, it is Parasite, it's kind of expected for it to go long. And this map a bit larger, and obviously you get the bases up relatively easily. And it's quite hard to push into your opponent's bases because they are very close together. It becomes split map very easily and so on. We are going to be seeing the 8 extra spine crawlers on the way down here from McMonroe, so getting those extra spines on the way up. We'll see more Zerglings on the way out, those couple of Infestors on the way out as well. Corruptors and Vipers hanging out up in the skies. We're going to be seeing some Immortals. At this stage of the game, Immortals aren't that great in the army, so you usually do sacrifice them like this. Send them towards the base just to go and try and get some damage done while trading them out. As we'll see the neural parasites will just lose an Infestor, a bit of a mistake. But yeah, Immortals will be made to fight against each other. Well, no surprise on who's going to win. As now the Brood Lords show up, and that's going to be the other Immortal going down as well. Not very fun. It's like, hooray, you won the Immortal Wars. And your prize? Death by Brood Lords. So not only do you have to kill your buddy, you then actually just die anyways. In a way, maybe the Zerg's putting it out of its misery. It's like, I can't believe I killed my friend. What came over me? I just couldn't control my cannons. And it's like, okay, we'll put you out of your misery. You don't have to fret, dude. Corruptors just hanging out as we do see Probe going to start coming down the left-hand side. Archons and Void Rays. We'll press through and pick off a couple of these groups. You know, as a Parasitic Bomb drops in. The Parasitic Bomb just... the Void Ray just pulls out towards the front there. Again, Spines, well, taking quite a lot of damage as these Zealots continue to push forwards here. So Zealots doing quite a lot of damage to these Spine Crawlers, and we're going to be seeing the Spines continue to be picked away at. A couple Lings continue to go down. That Spine Crawler does fall. Again, just going to be seeing those drones continue to drop as well. That Spore gets picked off also here now. And we're going to continue seeing this Hatchery going down over the next couple of moments. So Hatchery will end up falling down here. And again, those continue to be sacrificed Immortals. End up doing some good damage in the end. It's 20 minutes in. Probe is now building carriers, etc. And we are really just in a full-on Sky Toss army. A couple of Archons mixed in underneath. He has those High Templar with lots of Storm Energy as well. Army of McMonroe pushes forwards here. Big fungal growth to start. A couple of storms coming down. Oh my god, the Infestors are getting absolutely destroyed. Only more Infested Terrans, but they're going to get stormed pretty quickly. The Tempests come in. One shot a Brood. A couple of Neural Parasites on Tempests there. I mean, now you're going to come forwards and the Voids are going to go in. I mean, these Infestors are just dying off, and Probe is absolutely going to destroy this fight. The only thing that's scary is maybe the Corruptors. The Corruptors definitely having some issues. There's a couple of these units going to have to split away. Those Parasite Bombs stacking up a little bit, actually. A lot of the Voids taking a lot of damage in the end. McMonroe will rebuild, but he only really makes progress through the kind of cannons on the low ground. In terms of the Sky Army, everything stays. I guess it drops down in hit points there a little bit. A fair amount of damage taken, I suppose. 12-1 Fest is on the way out as McMonroe sets up to continue producing. Bottom left and Hatchery on the way up. Re-expanding to the right side. We saw that taken down by Immortals previously. And so McMonroe just trying to keep his base going, but only on 53 workers now. Probe actually has a better income. And if Probe can just make sure he can secure one more base at some point as well, I mean, that would be the dream. He's still okay for the moment. You know, his base is, well, you know, it's actually main, natural, and third all mined out of gas as well. So it's actually only really 2 bases here. So an extra base from Probe would go a long way. If we take a quick peek at the income graph, we can't because we don't have Game Heart on. Apologies for that, guys. That's what happens when the players host the lobby. As we do have the Lings and Hydras just gathering up, just making sure this base gets up here, and maybe, I mean, it's this sort of situation where you kind of want to build stack defenses McMonroe, but you've not really been rich enough to. Big fungal growth's coming down though. Rudolph's trying to capitalize on that and does grab an Archon and a High Templar. I mean, those few Broodlings continue to press forwards there as we see more Void Rays on the way out, a few more Vipers and Corruptors on the way in as well. This turned into a hell of a PvZ as Zealots on the top right side in position to deal with the Zerglings attempting to run by from McMonroe, and Probe is going to defend that upper right side as well. We'll see the Zealots and be greeted by Spine Crawlers here as we see some more Spines joining the fray as well. Main Army McMonroe still focusing on the left, although Probe a bit more to the right. McMonroe might have to rotate over here in a moment or so. As you see the army again from Probe coming around the right hand side, picking up a couple of these creep teamers here and there. It's already a little bit of creep going down. We see some Lings going to go darting up towards the top right hand side. It's coming up, and again, just going to be seeing those few Zars going to run forwards. And those few is just doing nothing at all. This base up here, Probe again, he talked about that need of a 6 base, and he's getting it. That's a good position as well, especially if he's focusing on the right side of the map. It's very easy for him to defend, because how is Zerg meant to get anything up there? It's almost impossible. Infested army is scary. Nice fungal growth on the High Templar, which for a moment or so is running forward still. 6 more Infestors on the way out. McMonroe knows how he wants to play this game. Lots and lots of Infestors here. Those are going to be seeing Broods a little bit far forwards. I mean, the Corruptors weren't in with this. First Storm's dropping down already, and then again, those Storms are just deadly. I mean, picking off a whole bunch of stuff already. Another set of Storms on Infested Terrans. And Probe just backs away as well, though. And just goes for a little bit of a different direction. A lone Zealot on the bottom left side is actually picking away at Extract as he's continued to hit the space over time, apparently. As maybe he's missing a little bit of that. We'll be seeing, oh, it doesn't have a storm for these Infested Terrans, so that's a bit of a concern. As we are going to be seeing the, why are the Infested Terrans cloaked? That doesn't seem to make much sense to me. Oh, because the new Parasite on the mothership. Oh, I didn't see that. I was too confused as to why the Infested Terrans were cloaked. Took me a moment or so to kind of catch on. Well, mothership doesn't quite go down. The Infested Terrans definitely adding a lot to this, but I tell you what, that Infested count has just been demolished. We had like almost 20 Infestors on the map just before. Now we're down to 2 or 3, and he's lost 34 Infestors this game. McMonroe does not have the gas to rebuild an Infestor army. Probe, yes, has to pull back away from the Infested Terrans, but now they're gone. They aren't actually coming back. And so this army of Probe looks fantastic, pushing across the right side. Once again, looking very good at the moment here. Going to be coming up in towards the right-hand side. And Queen goes down. Going to be seeing the Tempest continue to press in. Carriers dealing some damage. And a few infested Terrans dropping down as well. Feedlings are running around the left side from McMonroe. We're going to be seeing Zealots will keep on charging forwards and dealing with those Lings actually relatively easily so far. That Zealot wall is actually so well placed. There's the High Templar in the back who will get the Archon up as well, which goes a long way. The Zealot wall is slowly falling a little bit. Archon actually goes down, man. Lings are deadly when they have those attack upgrades and they have that adrenal glands. It's actually ridiculous. They don't even have +3 melee and they're still that deadly. It's ridiculous how much damage they can do sometimes. Actually a little crazy. Well, we're going to be seeing the Feelings just hanging out here on the left side. And there's a Feelings just hanging out, obviously. It's kind of not much army left over for McMonroe anymore. He's got about 4 Infestors. He's got a very low number of Brutes, 4 Broodlords as well, actually. He's still trying to add on a little bit more, but again, you compare it to what Probe has. Probe just hasn't lost anything in a long time. If we show you guys the resources lost, bottom right, 41.7k to 47.7. And again, Probe is doing a good job of continually mining as much as or as more than his opponent because of the work count dropping down here and there. And Probe's been able to continue taking expansions at a good rate. McMonroe hasn't had any place to really take expansions down. And without those expansions being denied, Probe has had no problem at all rebuilding interceptors, continuing to build into this army. While the Zerg army, I feel like fight after fight has just gone down and had to be replaced again and again. Zealots and Archons continue to press down here on the bottom left side. Going to pick up a Spine Crawler or two. And this army is actually going to be very good at just taking down this entire base. And where does it end as well? Because to take down this base, you can head over to this one very easily. And what do you even send over? I mean, the Broodlords are going over to deal with such a small army. Feels like such a waste as Lings attempt to dive a Nexus, but Mothership actually cloaks it up. All of the Lings go down. It's another loss for our Zerg player here as they're approaching the 30-minute marker in Parasite. And Probe is in full control of this. After this, I think we're actually a few rounds away still from even like a qualifying round. So we've still got a good few rounds of this left over, guys. And still to come. If you just tune in, plenty of StarCraft action still coming up today. And here you go. Going to see Probe pressing forwards here. A couple of creep tumors getting picked away at. And it's time for him to maybe take a fight. I mean, like, composition is the dream. He's got the High Templars underneath. They have Storms. Yeah, plenty. He's got plenty of carries. He's got the Tempest to kind of get a couple pot shots off before he goes in. Obviously, you start off with Tempest, and he's moved slowly in towards more carriers. Tempest initially are very good against the Brood, but then over time, the carriers definitely are better. Because they're a little bit weaker nowadays, so getting up into them initially can be a bit difficult if you just try and dive on in. Brutals from McMonroe back over to the right-hand side. I mean, again, he cleaned up that attack on the bottom left eventually, but really took him way too long and really did lose a lot in the process. Oracle keeps the revelation on the Zerg army fresh, so he consistently sees where this army is. So keeping track of that. And as you do see those carriers, we're ready to fight again. So Archon's coming in here once more, but against those Zerglings, they're just not going to be able to do enough. Archons are meant to be good against the Lings, but that many Lings against that many Archons doesn't quite work out like that at all. So have this army here of Probe hanging out on the right side, going to be pressing forwards. A couple of creep tumors going down here. Fungal Growth grabs the Observer. Can he capitalize? No, Observer gets away. Ay. Yeah, just a few infested Terrans dropping down, bit of back and forth. Zealots go charging on the left side. There's again Zerglings. And going down, there's actually, I mean, McMonroe is literally running out of units to, or money to build even Zerglings right now. Big fight starts up on the right side. Infested Terrans and initial storms are dropping. High Templar surrounded by Broodlings there, and actually the High Templar, a lot of them going down. Mothership will get neuroed as well, and Probe will lose a little bit in this fight. And this might cause Probe to just sit back until he gets his Mothership back online. This High Templar is full of Storm energy again. Again, missing the Storm is kind of a big deal. See a couple of High Templar coming back in. couldn't get rid of the, couldn't get away from the Broodlings that dropped down. Just got fully surrounded. The High Templar was stuck there. He didn't really want to storm on top of his own army, so put him into a bit of a weird spot. At that point, you probably should just try and morph in the Archons, but obviously it's tough, right? You know, you don't want to. You're almost like, well, I kind of want these storms, and you just don't think about it in the next moment or so. As we're all going to be seeing the Corruptors and the Brews still hanging out on the right side. Those carriers continue to come on up now. We're going to roosting away. 7 more drones, 5 more infestors on the way out as well. Corruptors pushing up to the top side. McMonroe comes in and picks up a carrier right away there. Good storm or two. Pushing those Corruptors back into the middle of the map. Zealots will come charging forwards here. And the Spine Crawlers getting picked off. I mean, you'll have to lurk behind to help defend, but I mean, Observer shows up as well. It's a good preparation for Probe. Just masses of Zealots. And this base will go down, and I'm sure those Zealots will continue through to another base as well. And this base mined out. But bottom left again, I mean, the more of these bases he shuts down, the less McMonroe is able to rebuild this army. Because both of them are actually on pretty similar banks at the moment. Probe has a little bit of a larger bank. 52k to 58k resources lost in the game. And Zealots again picking off this the entirety of this base. And now you have this mineral line down here. Maybe in some trouble. Looks like McMonroe's approaching forwards though. Here we go. And Yo's Parasites, a couple of carriers to begin with. Those first storms are huge though. Now dropping storms onto the infested Terrans. The interceptors are going in. And the mothership coming around. And I'm not sure why it's flying in towards the Zerg army. Gives itself to the Corruptors almost. It just found new life and it gets killed off instantly. I was going to see the Corruptors try and dive forwards. I mean, honestly, a couple of Archons underneath. This is where they go a huge distance because a couple of Archons able to just kind of splash onto those Corruptors as they stack up. Stalkers warped in. I mean, everything's just still alive here from Probe, really. I mean, the mothership was lost and obviously a few High Templar and so on, but he still has so much left standing. And there's McMonroe. So, in the top left-hand side, game 2 of our series, we have got the red Protoss player. This is Probe. And good morning to you all who are starting to wake up right now. I know a lot of Europe starting to wake up and join us here, so hello, how you doing? It's WCS America's Qualifiers, held on the Taiwanese server, because obviously Taiwan and C players are allowed to qualify into WCS America this season. And so we have one of the qualifiers on the Asian server to try and help things out. Bottom right side, our blue Zerg is McMonroe. So game 2 of this series is the Probe from Probe. Always going coming across the map, wandering across here. Let's have a bit of a close-up. Let's see how Mr. Probe's day is going. He goes up the ramp. He's quick, man. It's crazy. Probes run upstairs as fast as they run across the map usually. Like, they are not bothered by inclines, stairs, or anything. Some say the first being to actually climb Mount Everest was a Probe. Did it in just a couple of days because he just, you know, just wandered up there. Just, boom, straight up. No, don't care about anything, these Probes, I'm telling you. It's a little scary when you get up to the top of the mountain. It gets a little bit cold, and you know parts of the Probe can freeze up a little bit. But you know, then they nibble a few minerals and they ingest them, and boom, they get the internal heating applied, and no problem at all. Outside of me being a little bit crazy, guys, this is getting going. Couple Queens on the way up. First few Zerglings are on the way out as well, so getting that ready to rumble here. Couple Lings coming in, chasing down that Probe. We're just going to be seeing the Stargate dropping down the main base. So getting that going here as well as you see the Probe coming across the right side. Third hatchery dropping down. And we are going to be seeing the link speed is about halfway done. Again, this Adept just coming back down the bottom right, and a few links here from McMonroe nibbling their way through these unbuildable rocks. Early game has been pretty passive then, as we've been following that probe around, etc. But, yeah, the Adept coming up now as well, and that's really getting in towards this, so... Stargate about to finish as well. Probe going to go straight into the Phoenix this time around, so Phoenix first. We might see some double Stargate Phoenix play here. It's been a map that a lot of players have actually opened double Stargate Phoenix on. Third hatch coming up, a few drones on the way out. And we're going to be seeing again another Adept about to pop. And with two Adepts, obviously a third one over here as well. You can obviously go on the map and get a bit aggressive. There is going to be an Oracle as a follow-up, so Phoenix then an Oracle. And obviously he wants to clean up that Overlord nice and quickly, so unlike, probably not going to be a second Oracle. Probably some more tech very quickly here. Adds on an extra gateway, which I think does mean we're going to be seeing a Stargate number 2 coming down in the next couple of moments, so... Nope, Twilight Council. Ooh. For Glaives, right? Or is it just going to go Archon Drop? Maybe it just goes Archon Drop, actually. Interesting. Interesting. The extra gate kind of had me believing in the Stargate. Again, it's just going to be a single Oracle as we see a melee upgrade. It's going to be a Link-focused style early game. This is going to be Glaives, though. There's no Robo Facility with this. And the extra gate then makes a lot of sense as well, because you get the extra Adept production nice and quickly, which is obviously very important if you're going to go for an Adept attack. So there you go. Resonating Glaive starts up, and Probe going to open a bit more aggressively than in the last game, where it was actually pretty passive opener, really, from our boy Probe. Great game number 1, though, overall. As we are going to be seeing the extra Adepts warping in. And McMonroe drops down the lair already. So straight into lair, probably just going to try and rush out Hydras along with these Lings. I mean, Adepts are usually very good against this sort of style because they come in at a really good time. He tries to hide 2 Adepts back so the Zerglin doesn't see them. Probe just trying to stop information being gained here early on. If you just see those first 3 Adepts, you're not really aware of what the true follow-up is going to be, right? So that's what we're starting to get towards right now. And we see Adepts, more and more of them just continue to pour out here, although one of them in whole position on the ramp is like, nope, guys, I'm telling you, you can't come out this base. You're not allowed. You can't come through. Oh, there we go. Off we go. They're going to come down, and that's going to be 9 Adepts at the moment, and that might be the number of a couple more. Shade across the map with, so here we go. Leaves 1 in the wall off, of course, nice and safe. Shade, my boy, Shade. Go forth and Adept away the world. The badness of the Zerg. There we go. Now, McMonroe's preparation for this is a few more Zerglings on the way up. If these Adepts get into any sort of like mineral line or any sort of choked up area, it's going to get very scary very quickly. He's going to find these Queens at the front, and he's going to get one of them super low, super fast. Actually kills one pretty quickly as well. Shades through, doesn't really get into a mineral line like I was mentioning, but is going to get those few Zerglings anyways. Now he'll kite away, and I kind of feel like this is the sort of situation that starts to allow Probe to get a bit too much done. You start shading around the different bases, and you start really kind of picking up a lot of damage here. And it buys so much time as your opponent's just smashing up Lings, trying to find an answer to this, and that's obviously starting to hurt. Although that number's starting to kind of thin out a little bit, but it does keep Probe in a worker lead here. 61 to 56, and he killed a lot of Zerglings as well, remember. And a Queen or so to start things off as well. 2 models on the way out. So obviously the follow-up getting ready to go here, whether it's Roaches and Hydras or Lings, Banes and Hydras. Immortals are just so important. Such a backbone of the army, so tanky. Able to stay alive so frequently as well. And yeah, going to be seeing the double Robo and the double Immortal on the way out here to get those real power units up and around. And obviously, with the Temple Archives as well, we're going to be moving in towards Archons very shortly as well. Couple extra gates on the way through here, and a couple more Paladins coming in on the back. You'll see a couple of these Lings from McMonroe getting caught in a stasis ward, so a couple of those Lings getting caught up right there as we do see the units popping out, and they're going to turn and take down those Zerglings very easily. So there's one Zergling of McMonroe just running around on the left-hand side. And we're seeing this Phoenix here from Probe heading out into the center of the map as well. Some extra creep tumors heading down as well. Let's continue to set up a little bit more of this here. As you see this Phoenix still also flying around, looking to see what it can do. As we have the Adept on the top, and these other Adepts from Probe going to continue out over to the right. Thanks, Storm just over halfway done here with the Chrono Boost coming down on the charge upgrade. Still getting that set up here at the moment. Overseer on the way out as well. And just a few more Banelings on the way up now, so a few more Banes coming into play, splitting them up a little bit. Storm about to finish, +1 attack about to finish. And again, the +1 missile attack from McMonroe just coming in on the back of the natural. So, again, that +1 missile's up and running here as Lings and Hydras keep on coming through. You see that Musco Augments about to finish up, as we mentioned before. And, well, Probe's army, pretty scary. Has Storm very quickly here as well. It's always interesting, I find, when Protoss players get aggressive against Lingbane Hydra. Because Lingbane Hydra feels as though it's meant to be the aggressive comp where, you know, if you just sort of sit back, the Protoss player, you know, is just going to be building up an army that then can't really lose to Lingbane Hydra. So, well, Probe going to attack in a little bit faster here, and he's going to come down this bottom side. Doesn't have any, many force fields. He has actually a few sentries that I've just now noticed. 3 of them. Wow, they mix into that army so well, don't they? So hard to see what's in this big clump of units. In the end, it seems like it was just a bit of pressure for some more Banes, etc., rather than gas being spent elsewhere. As you do have the Warp Prism. Is going to be hiding in the bottom right corner, so ready to come in at some point, but maybe not just yet. And I would like this little push in to kind of clean up some of this creep. I think that makes a lot of sense a lot of the time. Just clean up some of the creep spread, takes on the map control away from the Zerg without going too far forwards. Even this creep team here is a bit dangerous because he knows this army's right here, so then of course he can just jump on the Protoss before he's really able to, or ready to take a fight. Oh, as we watch these Zealots coming around, there's actually going to be Banes coming up that ramp. They actually, a lot of them getting cancelled. I'm not sure why he's wolfing Banes in so far forwards. Probe gets a 4th base up behind this, and well, I mean, this is where it's going to get crazy. Zealots are going to run in up here, but that's not a 4th base. It's actually just a clump of units, so that actually fooled me. I thought that was a hatchery, I'm not going to lie, but the 5th hatchery, sorry, is right here instead. The Warp Prism ended up going down as well. No, it's still in the bottom right corner. Man, you guys tell me if you can see that on the minimap, because I really cannot. Like, that is such a small little dot on my minimap. I can't see that Warp Prism for the life of me, so I really thought it had gone down, but nope, it is still around. I mean, again, it's as this army moves out that you should be looking to force it back with the Warp Prism, etc., with Zealot Warpins. So there should be the time for Probe to make use of this, and there it is. Zealots will start to move forwards, drop in. Obviously, wants to get into a safe little spot so you can warp in a few more Zealots as well. And there you go, extra Zealots warping in. They're going to get ready to run forwards here very shortly, as we're going to be seeing a lot of McMonroe's army pulls back to go and deal with this attack. A couple Hydras on the left side there again picked off. Extra Zealots again warping in and just pushing forwards. A lot of those Lings getting picked away at already. Drones going down too. Like this, Prism just lifts up, drops a couple of Zealots into the natural, forces the units to pull around in different directions. Man, this is really crazy. 2 Zealots are picking off the entire mineral line, while other Zealots keep the Lings from running through with the positioning between the hatchery and the infestation pit. Well played here by Probe once again. I feel like all the moves being made good right now are very exciting, as we do see those Immortals coming back up the left side here. More Banes morphing in. And this Storm picks up a bunch of Banelings to begin with as well, so that's a good start to this. Now you see Lings and Banes around the left-hand side. Archons doing a good job of dealing some damage here early on. A Storm or two the right side as well. I mean, this is a hell of a flank. Storm's starting to run out here in the next few moments. Top side, there's only a couple of Hydras left as he pulls back. Immortals just need to try and split up, minimize the Bane splash. Bane's aren't great against Immortals, but obviously if you're splashing into all of them, it's still somewhat okay. Probe has a ton of money and will warp in 8 more Zealots. I wonder if it would have been worth to warp in like 4 Zealots and a couple High Templar, 4 Archons to really keep pushing forwards with this. McMonroe down on supply, and Probe again with the next warp in or so should really get himself into a good little position. Oracle is coming forwards, drops the Revelation down. We're going to be seeing those Banes and Hydras. Well, Bane's already running forwards here. Ooh, hits 2 High Templar in the back, full of energy as well. And that's a nice little pick off right away. And this team pushing forwards here, picking up a few more of these units. A couple of Hydras just coming in at a time. Extra Storms dropping down. And there isn't a lot of Banes left at all. In fact, there's not much left at all for the Zerg player, as Probe maybe just has a bit too much across the map. A few Lings make it into the main, but obviously McMonroe is too distracted to actually make proper use of those units. Even the Oracle coming in now, picking off another Hydralisk. Probe using absolutely everything he can to get rid of all of these units. GG and good luck is called, as Probe will take game number 2